Okay, we're live as far as I know. Anyway,
All right.
we are recording. I know
we got
American flag and me in the middle. Bill's in somewhere in you out west. You got a game behind you, and in Serrano, I understand you're in Spain.
That is correct. Puerto Banus is the area that I'm in. Puerto Banus.
I ain't too good on my Spanish speaking skills.
Yeah, no.
I flunked out.
No habla español.
I can say, like C and Ocho Nueve and
yeah.
Stuff like that, How many beers I had, because when I go over to Mexico, it's uno, and
Dos cervezas.
Sylvester,
Dos X.
Sylvester, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what they drank over Serrano? How long you been in Spain?
What's going on, man?
Oh, probably about 21 days or so, 22 days.
Well, I heard
I should say I was in Moldova for about 30 days, 29 days.
So what you're doing? What were you doing over there?
Well, since I was going to only stay 2 weeks, I wanted to see the poorest country in Europe, and it was poor. But the positive side of that is because the labor is so cheap. Everything was relatively cheap. I mean, as far as the restaurants, everything was food. I thought it was very cheap. So, and I went to the best restaurants, and it wasn't very high compared to these other places that you go. So since I sprained my ankle, the day before I'm supposed to fly out, I extended my stay in Moldova and just rested. It took me like 10, 12 days to get better. I was limping really bad. I hardly could walk. I had a cane. Now I put the cane away in my suitcase. But I said, I'll just stay in this this apartment, because I rented an apartment. Mm-hmm. And I extended my stay, and I just stayed. For the most part, in the beginning, I stayed in my apartment just resting my ankle.
Go down to the local grocery store and cook in the apartment?
Yes, and it was a very close grocery store. I mean, that was really nice. It just so happens that it was like 2 blocks away. It wasn't very far, and everybody knew my name. I left my credit card there. I left my credit card. Over there.
I guess I didn't know you.
Our friend.
Yeah. No, I left my credit card at the store, and then 2 days later, I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I said, well, I'll just use there's an app, there's a wallet in your phone. And I said, I'll just use a wallet. And I was going to call them. And I did call them. I said, look, just let me know if something happens, because, I don't. And they said, we'll watch over it, the credit card. I don't want to cancel it in case it pops up somewhere. And then when I went to the grocery store, the security guard said, hey, yeah, we got your, he didn't speak English, but he's telling me, hey, we got your card. Oh, and I said, thank you very much.
Because they knew you weren't from there.
Well,
like American money, how'd you Jeff change it over, or how'd it work?
I don't want to brag, but my card, that card they had is a metal card. It's a heavy metal card. Nobody has that over there. So it was like, they were checking it out, and they were saying, hey, it's a metal card, which you got to pay extra for. But the reason I have it is, since I travel, they don't charge transaction fees or foreign transaction fees. I hate those. So you get these, higher quality credit cards, and then they don't charge you for that.
Gotcha.
But anyway, then I was there 28 days, and I liked it. I mean, I would go again in the summer, because I was there in the dead of winter, and I did go to the parks, and I did see some things. I wanted to go to a winery, but I didn't make it. It's partly because of my ankle. It was still sore. So then I came over to Spain, and Spain, I had allotted a big chunk of time to go over there. And the reason I did is because I thought I was wrong. I thought my grandfather was born in Spain, and it turns out it's further down the family tree. and I was going to get see if I can get a dual citizen, just through my grandfather, just for one time, just to see if I can get it. My son's got 3 of them up in England. I don't know how he did that, but he's got 3 passports. He's like Bond, James Bond. And he's got 3, and I said, oh, maybe he want a 4th, and I thought I would get him another one, give him an option to get another one. But turns out I can't get I can't do it. It's too far down the line, and I already got my apartment for, I think it was almost a month. I think I'm here like 20-some days, 28 days or something like that. Sure. So I was gonna go to Barcelona from here. Uh-huh. But then my son was talking to me on WhatsApp from England, and I said, "You want me to go get?" I told him I was going to get a visa for Russia because I want to go visit. I'm expecting a bear hug now because Trump, they're buddies. so when I go there, I expect a big hug, and that's in my head. Anyway.
Well, what about over in Spain? Are them people watching what's going on? They had a big fight or something in the White House yesterday. I ain't got the full scoop on this stuff.
No, they over here they're not happy with Trump. They're not. They think he's just a different person. I mean, you can't say he's crazy or anything. I mean, if that's what they meant, he is a very, very wealthy man. Musk. He's a very, very wealthy man. He's in another level. So you can't compare. You've never walked in his shoes. So you can't say what's in his mind. I mean, I'm sure these people, because they're part of the EU. By the way, 3 days ago, I should tell you, 3 days ago, which I was very unhappy about, some lady from Venezuela was selling hot dogs, and I thought I'd go buy a hot dog. It looked American, but it wasn't that American. But
maybe Bill Gates is over or something. It might be one of them 3D hot dogs, man.
Yeah, right. 3D printed hot dog. There you go.
So I actually told her what I wanted to do, and she says, "Oh, you don't want to do that." And I said, "Why? What happened?" He goes, "No, look, she's from Venezuela, so." Who would know more about socialism, problems in government than a person from Venezuela? And she said, "Oh no, I've been here 11 years."
Don't you know about it, Bill? Bill knows about that stuff.
Well, let me finish the story. So then what happened is that she told me she's from Venezuela. She says, "I've been here 11 years." And it's I came here because of the problems in Venezuela, but she says I see the same thing going on here in Spain. And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "It's like socialism. It's getting bad. It's getting to the point where they're going to turn into Venezuela if they keep going what they're doing." So I said, "So when did you notice that?" And she said, 3 years now. It's been about 3 years that I've seen this change. And she's with a group of other Venezuelans who are citizens here in Spain through their parents or grandparents, and they said they want to leave also. They want to know where to go next. They think it's getting that bad here. They can see the writing on the wall.
Well, if they don't like Trump, they can go to Ukraine. Hell.
Well, that's not. No, we're talking to different people. She didn't say anything about it. I'm just saying. That I just told you I met this lady 3 days ago.
Yeah, they're going to be needing what I'm hearing. They're going to be needing a bunch of people over there. They're kind of.
I think that kind of shows some of the problems like we've talked about and we've seen here where they've got these NGOs and now things are changing. Money, we're not going to be pumping money all over the world. And so some of these other EU countries and some of these other places, they've kind of, some of them had it easy. It's been payday and quitting time for them. And they hadn't had to hit a lick, and now they're going to have to be accountable. That money's getting cut off, and so it's going to be a little tougher for them.
The well's going dry.
And let me tell you,
it's some of the things that we see that same down in the microcosm down here in Kentucky. There's a lot of these NGOs that play out in eastern Kentucky, up here in central Kentucky. And that's kind of this money we'll see these same collective group of people whining about Ukraine and this other stuff, but that's just because they're going to be expected to work. The money's getting cut off.
They are going to work. From what I can understand, if they're on the draw. Now, Serrano, that ain't why you got. I mean, if you got your ankle broke and your wrist and stuff, I mean, you can be on the draw and you might not have to work. But other than that, if you're able to work, if you're able to pick, you ain't getting no money unless you do some work.
Right. And we got so many of these government agencies, these NGOs, that these people are just basically on the draw. They never really hit a lick. They haven't manufactured anything, but they've got a buddy that they've got a job from. And that's kind of all over the world. It's, and I think now that Musk and Trump, they're having a line by line audit, and the American people see this, you know what I mean? Where price of our food's going up, jobs have been leaving our country, and we're paying for everything. I think a lot of American people are kind of like had enough of it. That's why when we see Trump doing that, we're like, we love it, right? That's any business owner would do the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, that he wasn't even being rough. He was kind of kind. You give that person that kind of money, and then they show up disrespectful and don't want to have peace. I mean, that's that liberal, kind of that fascist liberal mindset that they're somehow superior and we need to keep financing that. And that's just too much.
Yeah, he kind of got spoiled a little bit, that guy did, I think. He's a horse of a different color, maybe. Is that how you would say it?
Yeah, right. That horse only running on 3 feet, you know what I mean? It ain't, it's something right, you know what I mean?
Did you see it, Serrano? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, be happy, man. You didn't see it. Cause I tell you, that one guy, he was crying. I seen the guy, he said he hated the United States. And I said, my God.
Really?
You hate the United States, dude. You need to get on the bus. Get out of here with this guy.
No, look. I've traveled maybe 18 countries so far. I intend to continue doing this. And let me tell you something. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere else to run. This is why I try to get people to understand you have to go vote, because there's nothing out there. It's what Reagan said. If we lose this country, there's nowhere else to go. And believe me, every time I travel, every time I go to someplace, I always ask myself, because that's why I like apartments, because I go into the apartments and I stay for a month and I'm part of the people. I act like I live here. And I try to put in my head, can I live here? Would I be happy here? And then you talk, eventually, little by little, you talk to people as you go, like I did that Venezuela. That was towards the end of my trip, is when that lady showed up and said, no, you don't want to come here. This is not where you want to live, because we're thinking of trying to find someplace else to go. Where do we go with what we have? I got a Venezuelan passport. I got a Spanish passport. Apparently America used to bring in those people from Venezuela. Now that's cut off anyway, or people from the Ukraine, because Trump cut it off. So they have to, realize that, do I stay here and try to fix what we got here? Which you can't, because it's a part of you're just a little peon. But in America, you can do something. And the reason why you can do something is because we still have our guns. I don't care what anybody says. That is extremely important if you really want change.
Well, we got to put Bill on that, because the marijuana thing is a little loophole. Is trying to get the guns. That's all.
You need to talk. Yes.
And you got a lot of veterans out there too that
they need that medicine, and now they want their guns.
I mean, we get so many people that come into our store from the VA, and it's heartbreaking when you see it. Somebody come in like that, and they got a bag of plastic grocery bag, full of pharmaceuticals, and their life is not gotten any better. I mean, you never meet anybody taking all these pills and say, "Hey, my life's great." It's not happening, and the despair. But then they're so scared of even the CBD oil that I make. They start taking that. They're going to test positive for THC, even though you can't get high, and that they're scared, and there's no help, and now that we've got supposedly legalized medical marijuana coming here in Kentucky, I mean, there's got to be some real leadership on this to help people, because the boogeyman that somehow marijuana and guns has anything to do with one another is preposterous. Matter of fact, when it comes to war, I think should we be like the Indians and we get in a teepee and pass the peace pipe around, and then after we all pass the peace pipe around, if we think it's good to go to war, we go to war. If we pass the peace pipe around and we say that's not a good idea to go to war, then we don't go to war. I think a lot of people would get a lot more accomplished that way real quick, because it's time to go to war and time not to go to war. And it's time for a lot of people to go to war on this issue of the infringement of our Second Amendment rights. We don't lose our First Amendment right somewhere, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment in the United States, but how they play with the Second Amendment, it's like you can have a little here, but you can't have that there. We'll give you a sprinkle here, but not a sprinkle there. And it's just ridiculous. So it's one of these complex issues that really needs some leadership on the high level to work this issue out, because the drug abuse problem in the United States is just over the top.
I don't think they ever really wanted the drug abuse problem to go away. I mean, they act like they did, but the big companies is making these pills. They ain't selling no pills. They ain't making no money. So if they get rid of the drug abuse problem, they ain't making no money.
Yeah, well, here in Kentucky, it's been such plagued with, you guys really see it with the systemic epidemic drug abuse problems. Everybody on pills.
I know.
Right? This NGO thing where people get financed. We're not getting this pill. We're going to get them on this pill. Then we'll send them over here to get this shot, and we all finance this stuff. And it's all got to end. We got to quit financing all these other programs that are basically just abusing people. All this NGOs that we're financing off, where Toronto is, and all that, it just ends up abusing people. Our money's never really. I mean, very little of it, 3% gets used for good, and then all of our tax revenue is used to abuse people.
Everybody's a guinea pig, man.
Yeah, right. And it goes on a huge level on a bunch of different things. And
they're not spending all the money on the guinea pigs either, just a little bit on the guinea pigs, and the rest goes in the piggy bank.
Yeah, right.
You said they cut and come here. Trump's got them cut off, but no, I don't think that's right. He don't have them cut off, does he? He just got the outlaws and the rapists and the gangbangers and all that shit cut off. He don't have like a family or somebody. They can fill out an application and come to the United States like they always did. I mean, I guess
that's the other thing. Trump's immigration policy is talking about selling the opportunity to come here. He's talked about selling up for $5 million for somebody to get a U.S. visa.
And by the way, you single men out there, you just, with that little move, you can now find your wives anywhere in the world and just pick the one you want, because you can just say, hey, it costs $5 million but if you marry me, hey, I'll just
What if she's got the $5 million? I'm a single guy. I mean,
maybe she.
$5 million. I mean, we can do some kind of contract.
Yeah.
But
if she's got $5 million, she doesn't need you. But I'm saying if you could, these single men could use that as an incentive.
Are you guys really serious? Is this serious element? You're actually talking? He is talking about you. You have to have $5 million just to fill the application out.
He's selling.
Yeah. I mean, if you sold 1 million of those, we're talking trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
We're talking real money that goes right to the national debt. And so these are some of the things that, once again, with a leader and a business person with the business mindset of somebody like Trump, that's way different than what we've had before with people that, they won the debate team and all that. And I understand in politics, that's how it's been. but politics here in the United States wasn't started like that. Our founding fathers were common guys. They were just Joes like us, farmers, just men trying to make a living, trying to get by. That's why that's why they wanted to be here. And is the complexity of what government has become is once again based on just the sole abuse of people. Because they didn't get big to help us. It's just been abusing us.
Yeah,
Are you for that? You like that idea, the 5 million? I personally like it.
Yeah.
It don't bother me because they brought enough people in now. We've got people we don't even know about. Right. So we're kind of over, maybe a little bit bloated. So that 5 million would even.
And I'm going to say this honestly: if you're creative on how you get here, like we've got Cuba right off the coast of Florida, and they will take a 56 Chevy and they will run it all day, turn that dude to a boat at night and drive it that 90 miles and pull up on shore. Now that's an ingenuity that, we could use. And I think that guy's going to have a job and be adding to the Social Security by sundown. I don't think they should be able to take Social Security, but if you got that kind of gusto, cowboy, we need you here. You want to work like that. You're not going to have a problem. We're not into the drugs and stuff, but you kept that car running all that time. You made it across the ocean, pulled up on the beach. You got a lot of parts here, buddy. You're good to go. You've got an idea. You'll find somebody to finance you or whatever. You'll be good by midnight. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, 90 miles don't seem like it's too far, but now in a 56 Chevrolet in the ocean full of sharks.
You see what I'm saying? That's kind of like, that could be that Elon Musk talent that we would be able to tap into. If you've got that kind of creativity to do it like that, hey, we want to talk.
I seen Elon Musk. Somebody was asking me, they was interviewing him. Maybe it was on 60 Minutes or something. But he was getting started shooting his rockets, and he shot one up, and the damn thing blowed up. And then he shot another one, and it blowed up, and maybe a third one, it blew up. Millions of dollars each time. And the guy was interviewing him, I forget what his name was, but he said, "Don't you think, that it might be time to just put this on ice or just stop it, He said, "No." He said, "I never give up." And then it went to the rest of the video, showed him reusing those big boosters and, the Raptor engines and all that stuff. It wouldn't happen if you gave up, you see.
Right. Well, it's not failure. It's just it's education. Education isn't free, and it's not without pain sometimes.
Well, he had to pay, but he had the money to pay.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's been a very successful guy. Same thing with Trump. That's why it makes him two good people to undertake a task like this, and really do some good for the American people, because our tax money is spread all over the world through all these different foundations and NGOs and all this stuff. And it's not really doing a lot of good. It'd be one thing if it was really helping the kids we see on TV, but that's not what it's about. They just use that. It's like Ukraine, right? The bleeding heart for the Ukraine. But if I remember correctly, I think what started Putin invading Ukraine was killing its own people. They suspended their elections. And so big history there that, hey, we're not funding, we're not on the right side here. And we need to, keep NATO out of Ukraine and Ukraine out of NATO.
Today there was a news article. Elon is for getting us out of the NATO. Getting back to those NGOs, in case people don't know what NGOs are, did you explain that, by the way? It's a non-government organization. That's what NGOs are. So in other words, the way this works, the government or Congress passes these laws, and it goes into remember those omnibus bills? Well, I don't know if you remember, but Pelosi one time tried to explain it. What's in it? Well, 25% are these programs out of that omnibus bills, and they go right. It's just the title. It's just one line, okay? Because it was passed. In order to find that, you have to look it up, what actually that bill was, whenever it passed. and money goes in there every year. Okay, that was one of the things that I talked about when I ran. Not to bring my running in Congress up, but because I ran for Congress, I was allowed to know or try to find out what these are. There is going to be a story out of Jackson County. There's a lady that has a lawsuit pending, and the judge did not throw it out. I mean, she went the first stage.
There's a lot of Jackson counties in the United States around.
Oh, Jackson County, Kentucky.
So you need to put that stuff onto your Facebook page, man. Direct them.
Oh no, because we were talking about NGOs, and I'm trying to bring up
what I've learned about these NGOs. I don't mean to interrupt you. It looks to me like they start them. It's not hooked up with the government, so they figure out something. How long does it take a frog to get in the heat or something or another? And so they know somebody in the government, like on the far left side or whatever. So they need a couple $1 billion to research this thing. They're not hooked up with the government, but they can have a contract with the government. So the government, they enter into a contract with them, and then they got all this money coming in, and they study these frogs forever to see what kind of hemp oil they use or whatever, and they keep getting their check. And that's what the NGO thing is, kind of. They're not doing anybody any good, but they're just getting a check. Well,
that's why I wanted to bring the example up. There's an NGO, I believe that's an NGO in Jackson County. Okay, what this lady saw, and I'm going to show you how this is all kind of a wasteful situation. What this lady saw, she got hired, she worked in it. It's for feeding the elderly, okay? It's, I guess, the elderly, whatever, senior citizens. And she claims, just to give you a rough story, she claims that we ordered like 1,000 meals or 200 meals. And we ordered this for every day, 200 meals for 7 days a week or 6 days a week or whatever. The problem, she said, I saw was only 5 people would show up. So what happened to all the money that we bought supposedly for 200 meals a day? Where is it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you live in Jackson County weather, so you need to go start investigating and digging and writing and taking.
I need to bring this lady in and we can interview her. She's the one that has a lawsuit. I don't have the lawsuit. She has a lawsuit.
How could we help her, Bill?
No. We could use her to explain to the rest of the people what NGOs really are doing. That's what it's about.
You got. I don't think even. I know what you're trying to say, but I can't see how she's going to interest. Like what we're trying to do here is, I want something for the whole daggone country to get hooked up with, and they might grab a hold of her. But I mean, she's got the same rights, same thing that we can do. Like for $25 a month, she can have this channel. I mean, not this channel, but her own channel. If she felt that strong about it, if you felt that strong about it, you could give her $25 a month. She's got a platform. She got Facebook accounts. She got all this stuff just like we got, and she can talk to all these people. And if they like her, they like you, then you got to.
We're talking about NGOs. No,
I know, but then you got this one personal one you know about. See,
just an example. It's just an example. Okay.
I know, but you understand what I'm trying to talk. Do you understand, Bill, what I'm saying? Bill.
Yeah.
I said, do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, it just
shows these NGOs are all over the world. They're everywhere. And man, it's one of these bad deals that a lot of people, they don't know. They go to work. They're just trying to do their thing. And but there's all this other little subversion stuff going on around us that we don't even know about. Most people have no clue. And so it's a really wild thing. And so there's going to be a lot of people complaining, not understanding, but it's follow the money. And we've been paying for things all over this world that we shouldn't have. And that's,
Just like,
so many people in position that
somebody,
should have been in those positions, like Fauci.
yeah,
You know, I mean, that guy, if you look at all the footage of him and the things he said, and that's one of these things, they're running money through, through all these different organizations. And so, it's back to Trump and Musk cleaning up government I'm gonna be honest, I never really thought we'd really see it, something like that. You go back a decade, just go back 10 years ago, and to think at this level of exploratory, just finding things out and then really going boom, 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 line by line at them.
Well, do you guys think that what they're doing is going to come on down to the state level and right on down maybe to the local level, like where we're at?
Well, I just gave you an example of how it is going to be in the local level. That's the example I'm trying to give you.
Not going to be on the local level by me jumping on her wagon for her. I mean, she's going to have to jump on it herself. And you can jump.
Yeah, but that's the way the system works. That's how the legal system works.
About where the money is going. She wants to know where all this money's at. Well,
I think I think for Kentucky, it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, for a long time, we've been led by the left here, and there's still a lot of it. A lot of it here, and so that being said, we've been recipient of federal funds for a very long time.
Yes.
And that so, and we all know as a whole country, every state, that there's no more money to give. That old cow's back is broke. There's no more milk. We milked her all she's got, and we need to start protecting her. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, and yes, so
in my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kentucky actually gets more money from the federal government that we put in. So we're going to have to really get busy in the state level. That's why I say it's extremely important to get involved in your voting, because there's still people who believe, no, keep spending. Well, Elon Musk made it clear, if we continue on this path, our dollar isn't going to be worth anything. So basically, you'll be working for free. You'll be working as a communist, a person who works for a communist government. The money ain't worth anything.
Right, and we have to be concerned about the interest rate, like you talked about your credit card. Everybody's interest rates are going up, and America's backed on the good faith of the American person in our credit and our ability to produce. Our butts cash the check that our mouth writes. And unfortunately, that left has wrote a lot of that money off, and that money we've got to get that back because it's just costing us more through interest rates. People want to buy homes, cars. Look at the price of tuition to send a kid to the liberal indoctrination centers. It is off the chart, and some of this goes right back to all the things that's been going on. So it's got to stop sooner or later. And that's why it's such a blessing. Once again, you just go back 10 years ago and you would have thought, this would have never happened. But it's now that the way things have transpired with Trump getting elected, and however that election would put Biden in there, however that went, it went. But I think with the Lord's blessing, the things that Trump has learned and really seen to the deception of what was going on and at what levels, he gives us a whole new hope that, you know what I mean? You just couldn't have ever, back to the Tea Party days and in different times, nobody would have ever thought to this kind of level, that they're going to go line by line item and we're going to get it all now. And
I feel like I've been robbed now.
No, I feel like I've been pickpocketed when you see the things that are going on. That's what we're talking about. Right, when you've got that corruption going on in your backyard, and it's our dollar, but it's going right on in our backyard. It's like, and it don't make sense. And somebody there is trying to do something good, and then you punish that person. The perversion of the system, it's broke. For another example, is here in Kentucky, we have the Kentucky Department of Health advocating the manufacturing and distribution of synthetic marijuana.
I asked you about that.
And now that's drugs. and that's not back to a natural plant. And
$200,000.
to Eastern Kentucky and the long-term systemic stuff that just benefits the government and abuses the people. And it's always through a program that we finance that comes up and ends up abusing people. You know, and then good people try to talk about it, and they punish them.
Like they done that vaccine crap.
You're right.
Fired a lot of good doctors, all that stuff.
Right, and then they scared people on those vaccinations. And well, look at Governor Andy Beshear here. He was so adamant that, you know, this was so bad that he had to send the state police to a church to scare people away. And I mean, if that's not fascism, I don't know. I mean, who else does that?
They kept the strip clubs open.
Yeah, right. But we're going to send the police to the church. Right.
Ron, I wouldn't know about that. So I know
about it.
I was just driving by one day. I was surprised at the car.
They had somewhere to meet anyway, you know.
Right.
Just wanted a beer, right?
If he'd been around here, I guess he would probably just went in and had church at the strip club.
Well, sometimes when you have to meet, some towns don't have a golf course.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they got I can't understand that synthetic stuff, man. I mean, how they're even letting it happen in Kentucky. I mean, we're agricultural state, and then the way I understand it, I think you tried to explain it to me, that for so much money, they'll let them actually manufacture it and make it right here, the synthetic stuff.
So our Democrat liberal governor, Andy Beshear, proud liberal, he through the Department of Health has authorized them. I think it's $3,000, and you know, Chinese company can move in and start manufacturing synthetic THC and sell it in gas stations. They got it, you know, for sale in gas stations and smoke shops, and it's not real. They're just taking advantage of people, and then what? Next, they're gonna take their guns for that.
Yeah, Bill,
take the guns for the real stuff.
That's what I want to talk about. You know, those people who have licenses to get these synthetics cannabis, it is possible that they can use it against them to take their guns. Is that correct?
I mean, we had an FFL, and I mean, right, a federal firearms license, and I don't know. Yeah, that'd be one of the things that that's all that paperwork's going to cross someday. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
It's all going to cross.
It won't be in this administration, but I'm saying in the future administrations, right? It's going to connect. They're going to use it against you, I think.
And I just, it's like, hey, back to like we talked about before, I believe in responsible use of alcohol, you know, and other products, marijuana, whatever you want to do. But I think when you look at the stats, you don't see people smoking a joint and killing people.
No, but for the real marijuana, they're going to take your gun, but you take the synthetic stuff, it runs people nuts. So you're okay with your gun, and the synthetic, psychotic, crazy, you can still stay crazy, smoke the synthetic joint and go nuts, still keep your gun legally, and probably get out of whoever you kill, get out of it for being insane or something, for a bad drug, and just get a slap on the wrist.
Right. Well, they blame the drugs. They blame the drugs and then take the gun. And it's like, hey, that guy. Once again, there's a lot of people yelling about, hey, these synthetics aren't. You know, there was a guy up in I think New York. He killed a lady. He was an illegal guy and smoking that synthetic stuff, buying one out of their shops there. So it's just a rabid problem. And it's something that's only really prevalent in the eastern part of the United States, this side of the Mississippi. Because out west, you look at it, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, California, they don't have this out there like that. And so that's something about within the different elected officials and things that have transpired that something's not right. When we have the long-term systemic abuse here, and it's not going on like that in other localities, it's like, what we got to ask some questions. Back to, it's time to have some line item by line item audits of where's all this money coming and going, who's getting what. And,
I like that audit. I like that audit business. And I believe that might get to the answer of what Serrano's wanting to know, where this woman, she wants to know where money is, all the money is, where it's going to. She's only feeding 5 people, and there's enough money there to feed 500 or whatever. And she's only feeding 5. Where's the money at?
What's going on, man? Yeah, right. I mean,
the questions being asked, and I'm glad they arrived to this point. You're making $270,000, I believe. I don't really know what you make as a congressman, or $170,000 a year, regardless of what it is. How in the world did he become? How did he become a multimillionaire with $20 million with a job like that? That's the question they want to ask. And supposedly there's a lady, I think Elon Musk found her. She's a data analyst, and she claims that she's very good in finding money, where these monies are going. And she said that if it wasn't for AI, I could never do this job. Because it was like what I said when I told you about when I ran for Congress. 25% of the omnibus bills were for these bills that were already passed years ago, and they're so deep that you couldn't find them by yourself, because there's pages of pages before you reach it. But the AI can find it very fast. It can look it up and bring it up and say, there's the money. We're in another room right now. We're in the best times of our lives, because I've always respected and liked Elon Musk. I don't care what anybody says about the guy. I don't care how many kids he has on. I don't care. He's doing good for this country, and I really appreciate. And I've said it before. I would have loved to bring him here in Kentucky in the 5th district. I can guarantee you, I just have to show him a few things here, and he can find a way of making money for it. But it's not going to happen. But I really like the guy.
You can't make no money here, because they're going to take it as soon as you make it. I mean, they got it already took. Somebody has. They haven't got their hands up for it.
Yeah. I'm going to steal your idea, Serrano, about we need to get Musk here and have his boring company get us a good tunnel so we can go right from the coal mine right to the coal plants as fast as possible.
That was my idea. Yeah.
Right. We got a problem between. We can do that.
It's my brain.
Bill, on top of that, Russia is using coal to make fuel, rocket fuel. Who would want more? It's cheap. Supposedly, it's cheap rocket fuel for their jets. Why can't Elon Musk tap into that and have people working around here?
They've only been working for like a month. How do you know it?
No. Elon Musk has been working for years. I've known about what he's been doing for years. This is not a big surprise. That's why I said I would. 4 years ago, I said I wish I could bring him here.
He may be using rocket fuel. I mean, he don't call and check in and let us know what he's doing.
Of course he's using rocket fuel, but why not use what we have here in Kentucky?
He may be. I don't know.
He's not. But we want him to.
That. Is Russia making it and he's buying it from them?
No. You can make rocket fuel from other sources. I'm saying you can also make it from coal now. Russia has been doing it for 15, 20 years.
Well, anything in a burn, you make it into fuel.
Yeah. But we're not doing that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's Kentucky. If we could get on coal. They tore down our hydroelectric water plants. We need to build some more water plants. That's one big thing is as we change in these the spending stops. So back to Kentucky, those federal funds are going to dry up. And so we've got to get to a production-based mindset and attracting valuable quality companies to Kentucky. And the basis of that should be extremely affordable electricity. We should focus on getting electricity so cheap we don't have any problem with leaving the window open during the summer and the air conditioner running on inside. You know, we should like, we know it's okay. It's not a problem anymore. And you know, because for some of the poorest people, that's a big expense, energy costs.
You know, I know a little bit about this electricity. There's two kinds of cheap electricity, and one is fossil, and the other is H2O, is water. You can't depend on them damn windmills because they ain't making no electric if the wind ain't blowing. Solar panels for a little while, you know, but say you get clouded up for 6 months, who knows what Mother Nature's going to do?
It's like farm use for the pump.
Yeah. So just, I mean, two's all I can think of. Is there another one? That's really
nuclear.
Nuclear.
Kentucky spent a lot of water, and so you know, with that kind of cooling capacity for the
you gotta have lots of water on the nuclear, and well, you gotta have lots of water just on a regular power plant anyway. You gotta have water.
Yeah,
water.
Right.
You gotta have turn the turbines and all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
Of course, to boil the water.
But we got plenty of water here in Kentucky, and we got big river, and you know,
got lots of water.
We're blessed with these natural resources, and we should use them to better the lives of Kentuckians, because as this goes down, it's a blessing for our country and for our future generations. But we're going to have to come up with a plan, because we can't keep doing what we've been doing and expect to keep getting what we've been getting. It's, you know, it ain't gone so good for us, really.
Well, it's going dry. I think we did have one nuclear plant, didn't we? Or maybe more. I mean, we did have one out in Western Kentucky, or maybe it's still there. We got a nuclear plant, or did they scrap it? We had some kind of nuclear plant out there.
I mean, I don't. It's kind of funny, over the last decade or so, 15 years, 20 years, they've taken a lot of power off the grid here, while they've, you know, pushed LED lights and all this other cost saving stuff on us. They took a lot of generation capacity offline, and it's like prices have gone up, you know, and this is something that with just a little bit of time and ingenuity, we can get after it, and the prices could go down. I mean, they get fuel surcharges and all this other nonsense that was just man-made because of these liberal policies, you know, in production. They restricted production, energy production, and increased the cost of everything. We get that to generating cheap electricity. That makes Serrano's travel trips a lot more affordable. That jet fuel wasn't so much. You get even nicer plane tickets. Yeah. We get a gas ticket.
To answer your question, no, there is no nuclear power plants in Kentucky.
Okay? Have there ever been? I mean,
that, you know, I don't know if I lived long enough.
Oh, I know there was some kind of nuclear facility, I believe, out in Western Kentucky. I'm going back 30, 40 years ago. Maybe it's growing, I don't know.
I think it's a plutonium manufacturer out there.
It might have been. I mean, I don't know. I was just a construction guy back then, and we actually worked in that plant and did some work on a railroad siding or two, you know. Yeah. And they probably had a switchyard. I don't remember. We done a lot of that stuff all over.
No. There's never been a nuclear power plant in Kentucky.
So no nuclear. We have no. We got plenty of coal though, and we got plenty of water.
I think we should build 6 new coal plants, and let's build 2 nuclear plants. Let's start there.
And a tunnel.
I'll call Elon.
Well, that's a good beginning negotiating spot. You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't want to back down too far off that, but you know what I mean?
Because you know, going back to what you said, like I said, we accept more federal funds than we give. So we're going to, as a state, we're going to have to figure out how to work, you know, to get these things.
Well, they did have to figure out what to do with the money. I mean, they had that part figured out, but now it's kind of been a rock tossed into the gear. So I mean, it's not coming. It's not going to come anymore. I'm telling you, it's over. The picnic is over. But this is what, you know, we deserve it. You know why? Because
we kept voting. We kept voting for the same people who kept spending money because this idea that we're listening, oh, look, it's $200 billion being spent. Who had the purse? Congress. Congress kept passing these bills. And, I said, and nobody wanted to listen, you got to stop.
No, I don't think they had the purse. We had the purse, and they had the fingers in it.
No, but the way it works, they control the purse. We send money to government, and they keep it in their purse, and they're the ones that decide where it goes.
So they take it out of our purse.
Well, that's
goes out of our purse.
Well, now we have a better look. Now we have a better person in Washington. Trump he picked really good people surrounding him. They're very good people.
So that's what's going to be interesting now too, right? Because Trump's only got 4 years. I mean, I like Ronnie's hat there, but I think it's
going to be another term of Trump.
Well, if we could do it, I'm for it. But as long as it's going really well, and I think it's going to. But and we've got a good bench. We do have a good bench. But with that 4 years, you're going to have a lot of elections here coming up. Right. And there's a lot of people going to be running for re-election, and not because they know they're not going to get reelected. Because like Saran was saying, they were voting for all this stuff. We got to make a deal and make another deal. We'll wait to midnight. Oh, we got to make a deal because it's going to be midnight. We all got to go home. And they you know what I mean? It's just like, hey man, we've heard this BS for so many years. It's like a bad Scooby-Doo show. Like we done seen this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? How many more times? Like this is not even. This is not even.
No, the party's over. The party's all over, and people have to grasp it and understand it. That we're not. This is a whole different ball game now. But everybody was warned. I mean, I try to warn my people or my district, and it was in deaf ears. No, the man has more experience. He'll bring in more money. There is no more money. Now what are you going to do?
Well, we'll have companies come moving back, and so that's where we need to start focus on infrastructure, power generation. I do think with those tariffs and stuff, and this is the place to be. There's, like you said, there's no other place to go. This is the land of milk and honey. And I mean, we do things by accident other countries couldn't even begin to ever dream of.
Well, look, can I give you an example? There was several countries that I went. I don't ask this for every country, but I just so happened was some of them gave me this information without asking during the COVID era. Malaysia, which I went into, I was talking to doctors and they were saying, "Oh, we were all forced to take it." Not just doctors. Everybody in the country had to take the jab. In Vietnam, there was. Yes, and in Vietnam, they all had to take it. And there was a young lady who seems to have money, and she says, "I did all I can not to get it. I didn't want it." And they said, "There's no option here." She was willing to pay to get out of it. There's no option. She had to take it. Now, I asked her, "Well, how's your health, though? I mean, everything looks like everything's fine." She said, "The only thing that I noticed is I used to climb mountains, and now I can't. I get tired after I took the COVID shot." But, it's all different to other people. Some people are fine. Of course, some people get cancer quicker, from what I understand. There's all different reasons what the negative effects of taking that vaccine. In my opinion, I'm glad I didn't take it. But, I mean, if you're surviving and living, God bless you, you're okay. But, it might hurt you down the line. I don't know. But, there's new studies coming out every day. And it doesn't look good for some people.
Right. Well, those mandates, back to Fauci, this liberal mindset that we're just going to mandate, and that's going to solve the problem. And that didn't solve the problem. And once again, on a junk vaccination, that's new technology, not against, if you have a debilitating disease and you want to explore cutting technologies, that's one thing. When you're going to do a mass test on a whole world population, that's abuse. That's a perversion, and that's abuse, and that's wrong. And people, I think they need to have some accountability back.
Bill, imagine we had Kentucky governor was really trying to push that on every single individual in Kentucky, right?
Right.
And who do I compare that with? What countries did I set? Vietnam, Malaysia. I mean, they don't have they don't have what we have. No, nobody, by the way, has what we have.
Didn't Hitler send the SS to the churches?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's that mindset. They're the fascists, and that's the mindset. Time and time again, they it's like that, you know, and it's the bleeding heart. He does a good job of his bleeding heart. But once again, it's like, hey, that guy, you watch out, man. It's a viper right there.
I wondered, did him and his whole family enjoy those vaccinations?
I wonder, right. They all get them.
Feel like they're protected and safe now.
Not only that, did they get all the, was it 10 updates down? You know, got to have a new update on my vaccination.
They kept churning them out, man, every few days. Oh, you got another booster coming.
Right. And so these people in these poor countries, like he's talking about, you know what I mean? Wait, did they talk about all those? Did they get all those? Have to get all those updates and all that on their shots? Do you know?
Yes.
I personally think the vaccine is doing exactly what it was made to do: killing the shit out of people. That's what I think it was made for.
Well, so, you know, I was there the day my son, and it breaks my heart to talk about this. I saw him get a shot in each arm and each thigh, 4 vaccinations, 4 shots. Could have been up to 12 different vaccinations. Guy only knows what chemicals they put in that boy's body that day. But it wasn't long thereafter he started having those seizures. And so it's like, you have so, we see another thing we see with a lot of
vaccinations.
Pardon me?
The seizures came on. He was okay to.
Oh yeah, normal boy until yeah. And then so another thing we see a lot of is dogs and now horses having seizures. And these are, once again, they give dogs lots of vaccinations now today. And same thing with horses. Here, we see it. And so there's definitely, it's like, hey, I don't need a scientist. I don't need somebody in a funny coat to tell me what my eyes are telling me. You know what I mean? That's I see it. I'm good. You know what I mean? If you need the funny paper, well, you get your funny paper, but I don't want to take your shot. I'm sorry. I done seen enough, and I don't need to see no more. You know what I mean? We're good. Thank you.
I didn't take a shot. I know them. I know how they work.
Yeah, it's just, and I understand that there's some of them that may be beneficial if you're going to be a world traveler like Serrano here, and you don't want to get, the green fever, this weird stuff. There might be some stuff to it. But the technologies they're using.
You take that particular vaccination for whatever if it's malaria or whatever that you need the vaccination for.
But these mRNA vaccinations are not the same as other vaccinations as to what the standard and what people think. They're different here. And then all the products in them, the mercury. So you break a thermometer, they want you to call a hazmat team and report an environmental catastrophe because you broke a thermometer with some mercury. But yet you're going to inject it in me, and that's okay.
Yeah, okay. Go into you, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not going to you, not me, but we're going to inject you.
A little drop in there too. It's kind of like an ass backwards thing to me.
Yeah. So, where's the big Serrano off to after Spain?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I'm going to London, and I'm going to stay there for 8 days. And I have dinner with my son. I got an appointment to go to the Russian embassy. I want to get a visa, a 3-year visa. Not going to go right away, but at some point, maybe I will. But it's too cold right now. It's cold up in London too, so it's not going to be a great vacation. But my son's over there, so I'll have a dinner, at least one dinner while I'm there. Probably check out the area some more. London is not my favorite place, but I've been there before. But my son's over there. Well, by the way, he's had it with he told me about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. He's had it with this, the way they're living out in England. They too have some socialist thing going on over there. That's why Margaret Thatcher kept talking about it. Didn't understand why. Well, her government she's surrounded by socialist people who want to push that in there. And let me tell you something. I don't agree with everything Trump does, but there's certain things that I really loved. And like, I like Elon Musk. I love Kennedy. But the one thing that worries me about is that he said he wants to bring the best of the best. Well, guess where are the best of the best? The ones who were indoctrinated, like you said, and they're indoctrinated with this socialist idea to come to this country. That's my only concern about that idea. I don't really like that best of the best. I'd rather have a hardworking guy that can, he's hardworking, but he doesn't keep enough of his money because the government takes it. And bring that over here to the United States and see how much you keep, because hopefully it's a lot better here.
No, I get you. No, all those countries over there, the whole EU bloc is based off of socialism, right? Somehow they're all going to link together and they're all going to rise together. And it's like, hey, no.
Yeah, but where did they get that idea? Higher education. They're, like you said it. They're indoctrinating these kids. And they become great socialists, you know.
Right. And they just march down with it, and they just drink that Kool-Aid, and it just doesn't work because it only works till until right now you run out of other people's money.
Right.
And now when you run out of other people's money, your ideas aren't so fruitful. And
isn't it amazing that Musk is a college dropout and he didn't get the
well, I got to go, man. You're wasting my time.
Yeah.
I already got this. Yeah, man, I got to teach this class. I got to go. That professor's got an easy paycheck. I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I love it. That's what I like about this guy. I mean, I really think he's a real smart guy. He's a well-read individual. I think he's the best thing that this country's ever had. I believe. Well,
two men that are very wealthy, and it's an insurance. I think, like before, when you looked at Trump's wealth, it decreased when he was president, and I think that's what we'll see this time too. Both Trump and Musk, they're going to financially take a hit. They got so much money, they don't care. It isn't like that for them anymore.
It's a cup of coffee for them. I lost a couple of coffee for them. It's like losing money for a cup of coffee. It's not.
It's worth the price of the ticket to the admission for the entertainment that they have. Yeah. Could you imagine how great that would be to be Trump and J.D. Vance and deliver that beat down to Zelensky on behalf of the American people, knowing that Zelensky's just a puppet. He was put there by Democrats and liberals to orchestrate a war with Vladimir Putin to draw us into it. Right. And we're not doing that, right? We don't want that.
And the rhinos were, let's be clear, the rhinos were right there with those Democrats, and we got them in Kentucky. We got them all over the country. Lindsey Graham is a perfect example of who we shouldn't have anymore. I don't like him he's a Democrat, but we have a lot of them like that.
There's a lot of them that have voted for that stuff, and they get on that warmongering. And I believe in being very strong as a country, very military powerful, but giving our weapons away, dropping them off in countries, leaving them behind. No. And then you're gonna limit our guns and what we can do, but you're spreading weapons all over the place that we paid for. No. I could use a helicopter. I could use a tow or something. You know what I mean? Love to have some. You know what I mean? I'll take a Humvee. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, that's not.
I'd just like to have about maybe a third of the money they stole off my ass back.
Yeah, right. Just take a third.
That's what they got from me personally.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
happy. It's a settlement. The settlement in a lawsuit.
They leave the military weapons behind, and then they want more money. Oh, we got to raise your taxes. Why? Well, because we lost the other stuff.
We left it there.
Yeah. And it happens. It happens.
I mean, the future looks good to me.
Yeah.
Right now.
But I don't think we're going to be leaving any weapons anywhere for a while.
Especially that little dude out of, what's his name, Zelensky? Zelensky, the Zelensky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, my God.
In the tracksuit all the time. I mean, he's the only one on the world stage that I believe dresses like that. And in fact, he was an actor, right? He was like a comic. He was a court jester, I think. Basically, I've seen some videos of him dancing around. So he was just a court jester, and kind of that's what they've got running their country, or the liberals got. And that's kind of what they're, the party of court jesters. That's kind of what they do. It's the fascist mindset, the arts, their arts are going to lead. And
I have a question. Where do we want to go with this live stream? We've been here for over an hour. Where do we want to go in the future?
Ain't no way to it. What am I going to do with it? We're just going to, or I'm going to, whatever.
Yeah. What are you going to do with it?
Probably sell it to somebody. I'd like to sell everything I got and just kick back and maybe get Zelensky, or who did you say the other guy was? Graham? Just to manage
Lindsey Graham?
Yeah, they could manage it for me. I'm an old guy, but everything's for sale. But I don't know. I'm not committing to no, like, I'm going to have a show at 3:00 twice a week and stuff like that. I mean, like, feel good and I call you or Bill or somebody or a dozen other people. I know hundreds of people. I mean, all I got to do is send that link to them and we can sit and shoot the bullshit, about if they think about something, it's people might be interested in. You got to entertain people. You got to have an audience. I must have a knack for getting an audience because I've probably got working toward around 2 million people now that watches, reads stuff that I put out.
So it's possible you guys won't call me while I'm in London.
We make London's a whole nother ball game. You're going to find something over there. We might want to know about it, might we, Bill?
Yeah.
I mean, Bill, we're kind of in the hemp stuff. I mean, he's educated me. I've been really interested in the hemp, but I've never really found nobody that knew very much about it. Either he's a damn good actor, or he knows something about it.
A little bit.
I think
I go, man. Go to the bathroom. The guy just goes to the bathroom.
He'll be back. Where'd you go, Serrano?
Hey, was there?
He's drinking that damn Spanish wine, man.
Yeah, right. He's got a little senorita over there that.
No.
No.
I don't. I heard the wind is blowing outside. It's pretty loud.
You got a big storm there?
It looks like it wants to. It already rained a couple of times here, but there's a lot of wind today. The waves were really pushing. I probably put it on my Facebook. I took a video of the waves going into real high waves.
We got a feature on this thing. I don't know. I mean, this is like the first time we're just recording this, but we can broadcast it. I don't see why we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe we can actually, like, you got a picture or a short video or something, and you want to, can't we share something like that, Bill?
I thought you could. So, hey, yeah. Do you see a thing down there that says
like share the screen, like Serrano said, you'd like to show it to something?
Yeah, you see that thing down there that says present?
Yeah, I see present on mine.
Are you on your phone?
Well, I have to download it to my computer. I got it in my phone.
Yeah.
Have you got anything you can test it out on, Bill? Can you show a bottle of hemp pills or something?
I'm looking real quick. Let me see what I can find here.
That'd be pretty neat, especially if we could do like a live link, like Serrano, you're talking about the lady, and Serrano said, well, here's my Facebook page or whatever.
Kentucky, Bluegrass Hemp Oil has used their own story of passion and recovery to spread awareness and fuel a fervent mission to bring quality CBD to those who need it most.
At the age of 3, our son, Colton, was diagnosed with idiopathic generalized epilepsy.
Yeah, it works.
That's cool. That's your factor in it.
Uh-huh.
And through this, we saw a regression in our son. And so that kept us on a path of something wasn't right. And then we, I think, always felt that there was something better out there for him.
Bluegrass Hemp Oil. Feel better. Live better.
Get her done, boys.
All right, man. All right.
Yeah, so that option works. So
yeah, and then you see that banner going across there. Well, that banner's not going across there just for nothing, Serrano. That happens to be the guy. He's a Clayco News client. He takes advantage of our advertising program that I have. And
Who's that?
Pretty cool. Whoa! We're jumping all over hell here.
Yeah, you are. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know. It ain't me.
well, I was moving them, but I'm trying to get them all three back. How did we? Oh, wait a minute, maybe.
Well, I don't know. What I did was just hit this one thing right here.
Well, hit it.
I hit it, but it didn't do nothing. Maybe it's that one.
There you go.
Oh, I'm back on. I'm in the left now. There's
I
whoever's
don't know
on the
why
left.
it does what it does, but it does what it does.
Well, we just don't know what we're doing, or I don't. But
That could be. Well,
we're all lined up though. And
that's
so that's pretty neat. What we just seen right there. Now that's pretty neat. And see this banner we got here going. You see? Can you see the banner going? Kentucky County.
Yeah. Hey, so get us some footage, Serrano, when you're there in London, and send it to your laptop because you go to that present down there.
I was actually going to download this while you were talking. I was going to download this video.
Try it.
But it might take a little while, so you guys are gonna have to keep talking.
This is why you need this for shorts, clips. I don't think it's not for big movies and stuff like that.
Well, that's where we go. I could have Parker edit this, and then we could turn those into fine little things, clips.
So
and a snippet of us talking, and so it's a real.
We've got something really good to work with here. Looks to me like, I think.
So I was gonna send it I was gonna send it to my email and then see if I can upload it and see if I can.
We've been shooting the ball for an hour and
11 minutes. 12 minutes.
It went by pretty fast, so that means it's been kind of interesting, I guess. The real test is when we're doing this stuff, does anybody else find it interesting?
Yeah, that's 64,000.
That's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
The word.
Yeah, well, we have to find out. I mean, what are the subject matters? I mean,
what do you mean you got to find out? Put it on your Facebook. Share it.
No, it's in order to make this interesting. My Facebook is already interesting. Okay, I'm trying to say, how do we make this live stream interesting, where people will want to see it? And everybody, of course, everybody's invited to my Facebook page if they want. I try to be humorous in some of my posting. I try to be funny, but I also am serious on the political side of it. Here, let me see if I can.
When you're in London, you do it. You got to do a video interview with somebody, just about something about the local stuff.
Yeah, you got to get something.
Yeah. Do it. Like you're in a grocery store or something. I don't know. This as the local flav, so then we could show people what it's like there, but it's still cooler here. You know what I mean?
People like that accent. Those guys, women, the whole country. I guess but they got all different accents now. I guess they're all mixed up over there. I mean, I don't know about them. I heard the
worldwide correspondent for Clayco News.
There is a live correspondent. We'll be in London tomorrow. So you go to London there and get somebody interested and get them take a video of them. And then you say, well, here's who I talked to today. Because, you can't go out and talk to them right now because we're all sitting at our respective spots.
Go to the Russian embassy and see if you can interview somebody about their thoughts of Zelensky getting kicked out of the White House.
That's a good, because
you know what I mean.
People love that, man. I'm telling you, a lot of people didn't know. I see a couple of people's crying, but overall, I think the whole country loved it.
Oh yeah.
Can you? I didn't know that guy was. He's like a little small person. And when Trump, when I was watching it, I couldn't get it all, but Trump was like way up here,
Yeah.
And he was like a little,
Put Zelensky's head in his chest. Come here, little boy.
like a little court jester. You said he was a court jester.
Court jester, yeah.
Well,
Well, man, I got that video on my phone. Hold on, I'm trying to figure it out.
He made it into the court.
We'll put it on this video. Hold on now. While he's working on his, I'm going to see if I can beat him.
Oh, Serrano's working. Work hard, Serrano.
No, I'm trying to get you a picture before I,
We got people out there that's going to be watching. I said, look at them 3 nuts right there, man. Check them out. And then, oh, here comes a hemp factory. What? That's a real factory? That's the guy that's making the.
We have to take a break, and we can run.
In Kentucky, Bluegrass Hemp Oil has used their own story of passion and recovery.
We could sit there and be like, "Hey, we got a 30-second. We got a commercial from our sponsor."
Awareness and fuel.
We will probably get around to doing that, because I mean, people want to. If you got 10,000 people looking at this, it's worth a little bit of money, to get up in front of them.
No, right? Well, so,
I hate to see your bill you're going to get for this daggone streaming banner going across here. And there's them 2 short ones you just put up.
yeah, right. NFL rates.
I'm going to have to hire somebody to send out the invoices.
Uh-huh.
Well, I tried putting a picture up, but I can't. It doesn't work for me, so I don't know.
Well, you just ain't got completely figured out, probably. I mean, I don't think I could do it either, but I can figure it out.
Well, down there's that thing that says present. You see that?
Present.
I did, and it's saving the pictures on the bottom, but I don't know how to.
I see 2 pictures on the bottom. That's from you.
Yeah, I see it. So now take this. Here, watch. You got to click on the picture and add it to this page.
Yeah, I see the picture. So that's the beach.
Yeah, that's the beach near here.
Where's the girl in the bikini?
Oh, I didn't want to take that. That's I got a public life and I got a private life.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I got a personal private life.
In other words, you're leading a double life, or could it be a triple?
That isn't a double life. I'm a single man.
You said you had 2 lives. You had one public, one private. That's a double life.
I do what single men do. Okay, married men do what they do.
Club. That's what they do.
That isn't it.
Time you drink 2 or 3 more glasses of that, man. How far is it to the closest strip?
What do they do?
The single men go to strip clubs a lot of times.
No, I don't.
You got to go somewhere to get robbed.
Well,
If you don't go to strip club, I mean, the government's going to rob you. What the hell? Somebody's going to rob you.
I don't have to. I've been blessed. I don't have to do.
It's called entertainment, Serrano. It's entertainment.
Okay, I got one coming here.
I am a blessed man. I don't need to be doing this debauchery. Is that the right word?
No, not
Yeah,
going.
right.
It's entertainment. That's another different kind of gestures. They're interesting.
But
Did you find
pretty
Zelensky?
Yeah, I'm going to put that right. Oh, where would you go?
I mean, we're actually going to have national news, worldwide news on here.
We're going to have worldwide news.
Can we
Breaking.
do that?
Breaking. Zelensky was just reported. He's upset about his trip, so he was taking some time off. Celebrate.
Forget about.
But Ukraine will be a member of NATO.
Ukraine will become a member of NATO.
Ukraine will become a member of NATO.
And they will join NATO.
Is that him?
It's him, Dan.
NATO you can forget about.
But Ukraine will be a member of NATO.
Ukraine will become a member of NATO.
Ukraine will become a member of NATO.
And they will join NATO.
Take me to the strip club. I ain't wanting in his.
And listen,
Hey, that's a dude with tits. Oh, well, I got another one for you. Hold on with Zelensky.
This is real stuff. That was him. I recognize him.
Yeah. That's what we did. So now, can you imagine? Trump knows this. Let's say Trump has seen that video. Trump's people says, "Hey, you got to look at this," and then Trump sees that and says, "Oh, that's who this guy is. I'm dealing with this. I've given this guy advanced military weapons. We've given him billions of dollars to this court jester. You got to get this guy out of here. Hey, free lunch to the press today."
That guy needs to calm down, Bill. You need to send him over a couple of bottles out there, hemp, something.
I think he was already taking a little something beyond that. Yeah, he needs a lot of CBD.
I'm surprised Trump didn't say, "Here, come here, gorgeous. We got to talk." You know.
Oh man. They like to be entertained, but now you watch that now. I'll tell you, that's a good ad for a strip club right there.
What's that?
Yeah. Get away from it. Go next door.
Yeah, I got a better one for you.
Go to Mabel's place.
Yeah.
You know, a little history. So people who don't understand what's going on. Bill Clinton promised when Russia, I think it was Russia, Germany wanted to take the East Germany and to unite it with West Germany. Russia was upset about it. They didn't want it to happen. You got to remember, I believe it was Bill Clinton. I could be wrong in my history, but Bill Clinton says, look, if you allow them to do that, unite, we won't expand NATO anymore. Okay, that was our promise to Russia, and Russia let it happen. To be honest with you, they let it happen, but they were bankrupt, so it didn't matter. But they, to save face, we allowed them to act like, okay, you're still a vibrant country. We're going to respect that. Let this happen, and we won't have any more NATO countries. Well, all of a sudden now Ukraine wants to go into NATO, and we broke a promise. I mean, we had a promise that we made to Russia that we wouldn't do it. So in that sense, I understand why Putin is angry. You broke a treaty, which our government, let's be honest, we break a lot of treaties.
What is Bill Clinton now making a treaty for Ukraine with Russia? What business?
No. It was no. Listen, you didn't hear what I said. We promised Russia that there will not be any more countries joining the UN, the NATO. I'm talking about the NATO countries. And we told them if you allow Germany to unite, because Russia didn't want them to unite,
and we would not, and they were not going to expand NATO anymore.
Okay, so Bill Clinton, the head of it, was he who? Bill Clinton?
Well, this gets back into the bombing of like Serbia and stuff when they used NATO. This has been going on with this geo tinkering over there for quite some time. When Clinton used NATO to bomb, I think it was Serbia over there.
I don't know.
And so it's some of that. It's like it's this old stuff that the left. It's always the left that's tinkering. Back to what Serrano said. Like Reagan. Gorbachev tear down this wall. We had deals that NATO wasn't going to expand. We've had an excellent relationship. Russia has they restructured. They have a different economy now, and it's always the left that is circumventing these deals and biting and inflaming these situations. And they always do it so they can clamp down on us. They always want to use it for tax money, steal our rights. And then in this case, it's because they're giving it to a guy like this. Okay, I'm going to show you this.
Yeah, where'd this little dancing fella come from?
Here you go. This is what we're funding.
I don't believe that. I've never seen that before.
You've seen it now, buddy, right? You're saying
that's what we're funding. We're funding that at a high level, and it don't look good, boys. You know what I mean?
You're saying on the Bill and Ron show.
that boy, he's dancing a little funny. We don't dance like that around here. We two-step and we swing a little bit with the women.
New show. This is a new
But
show.
that's a little funny. That boy's a little funny. He needs to go up to you take that out there to that San Francisco. That's over there in them other towns. We don't do that around here. It's no. It's a no.
No.
So yeah, there's because there's a lot of people in the posting on Facebook. Oh, it's usually the left, to be honest with you. Oh, we are for the Ukraine and so forth. And listen, you're in the wrong boat. I mean, you got wrong information. We made a promise, we made a deal, and that was the deal. We want to break all these deals. I know, it's like, it's okay. We can break these deals, but
it was us making the deal. Ain't there more people in NATO than just Bill Clinton was?
But let's remember why NATO's there. NATO's there because Ukraine was ethnic cleansing inside their own border. They were killing their own people. And then they used that. That's why they paid Zelensky. They started that stuff, who's a puppet dictator. They had somebody, they had an elected president before. They ran him out through the State Department here. And we put Zelensky in place. The left did, right?
Yes.
That's how this really went down. And then they were funding this stuff. So they orchestrated it where he was killing his own people. They bring NATO in. Russia's coming now because he's not going to, Putin's like, hey, I'm not having that. And it's like he's saying, it's the left that's always breaking these deals. And we just
we out now. I don't belong to the left. Which way am I going?
Yeah, right.
So the left that's gone now, they've kind of be a while before they come back, maybe.
I think, yeah, that's going to be just, I believe as people learn, that they're not coming back. I think a lot of the old folklore lies, like the Republicans are evil and this money hungry. I think there are people going to see that's not. It's the Republican Party, the true Republican Party is the same party that was started in Wisconsin to free the slaves. We're about opportunity. We're not for slavery. And all these policies that the Democrats keep pushing are making us or selling us to economic servitude. So basically for the Democrats, they've never stopped slavery. They still do it today. It's just a different form and fashion. But it's still the main weapon that they use. And I think the Republican Party is about freedom and opportunity. And we don't start wars. We're peaceful people. We don't want war. Just if we go to war, it's going to end quick. We don't, which the left hasn't done because they want to clamp down on us, spend the money, and, create a destable globe. Versus back to President Reagan's words of, Gorbachev, tear down this wall. We'll stabilize. We're not spreading NATO. We're unifying Germany. Everybody's happy. It's over. And so we could go back to those days with the leader like Trump.
So after Reagan, then that's when the left come in and started breaking the deals Serrano's talking about.
Right.
Serrano.
Yeah, there was some.
It was right. Then went left, and the deals get broke, and then come the little dancing guy. Here a year or two ago. I don't know when they start dancing. Or did his mommy try to teach him?
That's unbelievable.
I think he started right out of the cradle. He started the man right. Yeah. He was in one of them first bunches that when they brought the drag shows into the schools. He was in the K grade. The little, what is it, KC or little not KC, it's kindergarten, that's where he got his first lesson, probably. I don't know. I not the first rodeo. I bet he's never been in a real rodeo.
Right. He's just a dancy chicken. And so that's
you know, they brought in a puppet. He became a puppet for our government. However, he got in, and that's how Biden's son was making money. They put in the right people to make sure you have to pay my son.
Isn't it amazing?
All corrupt. It's all corrupt.
Isn't it amazing to see the blatant hypocrisy on the left of them not saying anything about all the pardons? Because Hunter Biden, his whole family, Biden's family. I mean, it's like they were spreading that disinformation during the first Trump presidency that Trump was going to be, pardoning his kid and all that, and it was like, what for? You know what I mean? It's not. And if his kids did something, I think Trump's the type to like, hey, you got yourself in, you got to get yourself out. Time cowboy up. It's on you. You did it. But this guy Biden, I'm sure some of these people, Democrats have people in jail that have been accused of things, charged with things, and are serving time for things. Here's old Hunter Biden, daddy, just pencil whipping it. Don't worry about the cocaine. Don't worry about all the laptop and all this other deals.
Well, smoking, you got to be 25 feet away. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Bill, but I mean, I was a Texas man. I said, right there at the truck stop, 25 feet away. You're only like a foot and a half from me.
It's not on. It's not. I'm almost done with it.
I can smell it. I'm just kidding.
It's my last one, but I'll buy some in London, I'm sure.
You get some good ones somewhere. No, I was in just east of Houston there, and it's this big truck stop. And I don't smoke anyways, but they had this big sign on the door said you got to be 25 feet away if you're going to smoke a cigarette. And I'm thinking, my God, they must have some strong shit around here. 25 feet away. And I just brought that memory back to me. Serrano did. That's 25.
Yeah, it's 11:39 here, by the way.
11:49. Oh, it's 5:40 here, 20 to 6. What time you got? That's what it says on
11:40. I'm considering going to another country before I come home. I'm waiting for the tulips to come up. I don't think I want to go while it's cold. You know what I mean?
Well, the buttercup's up, buddy. Here, just you get a good. Give him some pointers there, Bill, where you can go tomorrow, and shoot a couple clips that we can see.
Let me tell you something. I was really considering, Bill, having you send something to my apartment, your CBD, because I did run out. But I found a CBD place, and I don't think it's as good as yours, but I at least I got it in my system. It has helped with swelling. Mm-hmm. So your product does help on swelling. I can vouch for that, especially my internal organ was always swelled up slightly. I mean, I got it down to it was just slightly. And then I started using your stuff for 3 weeks and it disappeared. I mean, it's completely healed. And that's that problem I had for over 20 years. So,
that's good right there. Well, that's Bill's stuff. I mean, all I do is run a scroll banner.
We got to keep our world correspondent on tip-top health there because we're not sure what the food he's eating and what he's smoking. You know what I mean? You got to make sure he's in top shape there.
No, I gained weight here. I gained, I think, 7-8 pounds.
Well, don't discourage. We give you that little dancing lesson there, Bill did. I mean, we're not advising that anybody try any of those dance moves.
So I definitely appreciate what you did for me, Bill. I mean, you told me try it and see what happens, and I think it's a positive thing. I'm going to Malaysia, by the way. I'll be talking to my doctors there. I'll be selling it. You'll see. I'll sell it.
Yeah, you need to. You got to check on that visa though, because you don't want to get act like you're trying to see what you have to do business there. You have to have a special visa or.
In Russia,
well, can't your product be sold around the world? Why can't Serrano sell it around the world?
No, he can. But so when I did business in Mexico, when I was on the U.S. border, I used to do a lot of business in Mexico. And so I had what was called an FMN. And it was like a Mexican passport. As a U.S. citizen, I could go anywhere in Mexico on business. That's different than a tourist passport. Where a tourist passport, you know, you put in your location, and the tourist can't go into a business and conduct official business.
So they can only go in to visit and buy something.
Yeah, and so these countries, when you get into that, you got to be a little careful. He's already been kind of almost got locked up down there once in South Texas, so we don't need him getting arrested out there.
What do you call it? FMN card.
Yeah,
You need a card like you're explaining.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling. Yeah, so just when you get over there and you kind of on that business stuff, you may just want to. It's like you're not really doing business. You're just trying to figure out how you could do business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. That's how I always.
You don't want to like get them to have the wrong impression that.
Oh, so Serrano, I mean, I suggested he could do something like that. So, but he can apply and get certified, and he could be a real worldwide.
Oh yeah, right.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. Well, we send him all these places again. He starts selling CBD.
Yeah, I left that guy my phone number, and he did text me, and he said I sent him the catalog, and I said, yeah, take what you want. I'll work something out with you, like I had to say. I said, look, I know the owner really well. I said,
I know.
Yeah, I know the guy real well. So he said, I'll take a look at it, see what I could order. And I told him the dog biscuits, they have, it's like, this is a rich area. They have these little puppies and little dogs, and they're running around, and, you know, they're loaded. You can tell they're loaded because they got buggies for them too. They put them in their buggies.
Look at all the money we've been sending them. You know how many billions of dollars we've been sending them? Of course they got
I have no idea about that. I'm waiting for Elon Musk to tell me how much we gave them, but still, they have all this. They got the money for these dogs. Your dog biscuits would sell really well here. Nobody's selling because I checked. I went to the pet store, and I looked for CBD.
Well, them dogs will be feeling good for too long. So as you get
that's some low hanging fruit. Get on that. Now, but tomorrow morning, I'm going to text you. You get the PO?
What's that?
I'm going to text you tomorrow morning. Did you get that PO?
What PO?
The purchase order for the dog bites.
Well, he's looking at it.
Ryan wants to get a bigger computer. He got to get a bigger computer to run the software on, and we need you to sell more dog bites, man.
You
don't get the purchase order to sell the dog.
I'm going to help you all I can, because I really believe in what you have here, because it did cure something that I had. I've been to 3 doctors, dude. You don't understand. I was suffering with that thing. And for 20 some odd years, I went to 4 doctors in 3 states, Florida, Illinois, and Kentucky. And nobody could. So what do I, at the end of the day, I said, what do I have? We don't know.
And look at all the money you spent. And so coming to see me was a savings.
Yeah. Well, you know, I try to, look, this isn't just an accident that I get to meet certain people. You know, it's got to be, you know, the guy upstairs that kind of guides you and say, hey, look, you need to meet this guy, you know, because, you know, that I got the answer for your problem, and he's got it.
Right there.
Did I gave my pharmacist your card or contact? Do you ever they get in touch with you, Bill?
No, I made a call down there. I need to get back on that. In fact, I got a guy out sick on that. They're
real good people.
Yeah. I just want to tell you that this is the longest. You know, I noticed it about 3 days before I left, because I already was taking your medicine, and I won't call it medicine, but CBD, about 3 weeks before I left. And about 3 days before I left, I noticed. I said, man, I must be eating everything right, because I feel like I'm a lot better. And then I realized that I've been taking your pills, your CBD oil. And then that's when I think when I was in Moldova, I texted you. I said, hey, look, I had this problem, and my big intestine was swollen, but slightly swollen, because I got it down to, because I know it's the GMO. I know I don't care what anybody says. I know it's that GMO that was killing me, because that's what I was eating a lot of before this all happened.
It's working on a bunch of other people too.
Yeah, well, that's one of those issues, guys, here in Kentucky that we're going to have to contend with, because we've on our agricultural base, a large percentage of that base, unfortunately, has been that commercialized farming of those crops.
Genetically modified, GMO, right?
Right, the GMO corn, the GMO soybean, and then just those poor farmers are just susceptible to China's market. Whether if China's buying, they're good. If not, man, it's bad market. And so we need to get some things that, back to our cattle industry, changing some of the other things we do, retain that here. Could you imagine? Kentucky is the largest producer of beef cattle east of the Mississippi, but we truck most of our beef west. I don't know why, as a state, we can't finish off a larger percentage of that beef here, finish them out, pack it here, and ship it to the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Well, something's wrong with the money all the people can afford around here is spam.
Well, so once again, we start producing some beef around here, bringing some jobs in, lower those prices of electricity, and it's back to right. We're not eating spam anymore. We're not eating hot dogs. We're eating back to the proper things we should have always been eating, and they can be produced locally. We should be getting so we get an advantage of if we produce it locally. I see it as the farmer is going to get more, and the consumer is going to save. Because right now we put that beef on a truck, and trucking, Ronnie. You put that cattle on a truck, well, you're losing weight.
I didn't haul no beef.
But just in general, and the fuel rates. And the fuel rates and everything else that goes with it. And so saving some of that and putting that meat closer and then shipping it out of here, it gives you a little more affordable food costs. Then you can't tell me it's more affordable to ship that dude all the way out west, sell him in the auction to the big four, and then we eat our meat from some other, from Australia.
Oh, I think maybe we might be eating some meat that 3D meat, maybe. I just kind of make a little joke out of it, but I mean, you're absolutely right.
Right, and then with that 3D meat, you're absolutely right there. That's the unfortunate thing with the way the food production industry is right now. You don't know.
Oh, big old BG, man. That's the first initial of your pills. BG, you know who that is, don't you?
Who?
Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah, right.
That fake meat. Oh my God!
Right,
yeah, and you noticed he bought a lot of farmland, so he's gonna use that fake beef at some point where there's.
Well, I think that's to take that production.
He wants to make it out of grass or something. He wants to take a little isolate. You call it in the hemp stuff, isolate a molecule or something, and then you turn it into turn the stickweed into a T-bone, something like that.
Something like that. They just want to be able to print it out, and with their and it's like no. We're gonna no.
We want the real T-bone, the real guy.
That's the kind of ideas, Bill, that we're going. This is what I meant when this is what I was talking about when the government isn't going to give us any more money. So all of a sudden we do have resources, but we're not using them because government is giving us the money to do that, and our congressman just keeps bringing the money in. So why should we work? Right. And this is your ideas is what's going to help Kentucky get stabilized, because we're going to have a little crisis for a little while. Don't think for 1 second that this is going to be a gravy train. There's going to be people suffering.
Well, no, absolutely right.
Well, it's not going to be too bad because we still got spam, guys.
Right. We always got some spam and some like a can of refried beans. But after a while, when we get to looking at that, we could have been eating better beef if we hadn't left all them weapons on the battlefield, or if we were funding. If we
Okay. I saw enough of that. Right.
I think if our money was going to that guy, how much better we could be doing. But we're funding that.
We could have the whole damn cow and big pasture to put it in.
Right, but no, we got to 3D print it from Bill Gates because we got to send money to Zelensky so he can proliferate.
But Zelensky's little train probably run out of steam.
I think he's going to have to leave office now. I think they're going to have to. He's got to go. There's no him staying in this working out now. And they.
Yeah, but you notice what you just said there. He's got to go, as if our government is going to dictate who we're going to take next.
No, his people are going to send. They're going to take care of him. We don't have to worry about him over here.
No, that's back to. I mean, he was propped up by the United States. The only reason he's there is because of the United States. And that's going to be just like, hey, we're done. We're getting our football, we're getting our ball, and we're going home. You know what I mean? We did. It's not what the American people signed up for, and he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want peace, so it's vaya con Dios. Good luck. We got to go. You know what I mean? It's
one more thing. You're talking about this GMO stuff, and the corn and all that stuff, and the wheat. It's all GMO, right? Pretty much.
Pretty much. Well, and it's not even that. So they use that glyphosate. So, like on the wheat, they'll use glyphosate.
What's this going to the Everclear industry, man? What's it going to do to the moonshine? GMO moonshine.
Yeah, right.
Well, I know that corn fructose was all part of that GMO stuff, and I know for a fact that shot my intestine. But I've been suffering for 25 years. Imagine, I've been suffering. I mean, there was
25 years.
There was a point where I had to stay home for 4 years. I was home because I couldn't go leave because everything was swelling up on me, and my face. I got a picture of my face swelled up, and I was on a newspaper, and my face was big and round, and it was because I had that problem. And I'll tell you, I think your CBD really helped. I mean, the stuff works. The stuff works. I mean, at least for that. And you told me remember we were using it for my ankle. I have extreme arthritis in my left ankle because I had a bad accident, and the arthritis is really bad on it. But it's never going to heal. I'll always have that arthritis, but I think it does help the swelling there. And so I want to continue taking and see what happens because some days I have great days. I can walk out in the morning, but I can only do it for 2-3 hours. And then I have to rest again. My ankle gets swollen. But
it's one of those other things that the government is just standing in the way. When the government just got out of the way a little bit when they started that CBD and the hemp to allow me to do just what we did there. Imagine if they would just get all the way out of the way.
Yeah, well, but people have. This is what I think you should be saying, and everybody should be saying. Who are the people that try to stop it? We have them in Kentucky.
Oh, right.
And they're still in office. We get these stupid people. I mean, and what gets me angry is that I'm not a stupid man. Okay, I'm a relatively smart enough guy, especially when it comes to politics. Who's screwing me? And yet I try to tell people, look, this guy is, oh no, he's.
Well, you're just saying who's been screwing you right there. Bill showed him to you.
Well, no, I'm talking about
over here.
No, I'm talking about. Look, I followed the vote. There's no denying. I've been following the vote. I just don't look at the candidate and say, "Hey, your hair is nice." I want to know what you voted for, and we have many. Okay, you have one in your district, Bill. I know. I followed his vote. I had to. I have one in my district. I mean, the best one is up in north, but he's not in my district. So, but most people in southern Kentucky, you'd be surprised, don't really know of them.
Well, that gets back to that Kentucky has been a net recipient of federal funds. For the longest time in Kentucky, if you wanted a job, you had to be a registered Democrat.
Right.
That's the way I got my job.
Right. Everybody knows, right? And otherwise you weren't getting a job, right? Right. And so it's still it's just starting to work. It's flush its way through that. Hey, that days ain't no more. Like, once again, that's that systemic abuse that I talked about. That people have been so abused that they don't recognize that. And still we have these people that say they're gonna advocate for us, they're gonna bat for us, they're our champion. And yet when they go to vote, they sell us down the river. They give money to our enemies. To
And
people
you'll
that
never see them people again either that told you that till next election time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we got it. It's already just about. Just all we need is another few months with it. But now here's the election again. So
Right.
You got to get us back down there so we can keep fighting for you.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a bad thing about Congress. I mean, I get it, but that 2-year cycle, that person's always you've got the way they do it about everything's raising money. It's a problem.
Especially in my district. One of the things, because I did run for Congress 3 times, one of the things that, I since the Republican Party wouldn't let me speak in Republican Party dinners because they said we already have a Republican in that seat. After the first time, that's what the answer was. But you'd be surprised how many people would come up to me and say, "Oh, so what are you going to give us? What do you mean? What are you going to give us?" I mean, the mindset here is that this thing just going to keep coming. But I kept saying, but we're broke. We're really broke. Now we have a person that has the balls to say, we're broke. We don't have money.
And it's in that abuse cycle, what Kentucky's missed and the Democrats have missed, just getting all that, just give me, and selling everything out, is the crown jewel that Kentucky is. Kentucky is a crown jewel. We got a lot of resources. We got great people. I mean, everybody loves to visit Kentucky. We're like a little hidden Ireland, I hear. Everybody from Ireland comments about how much Kentucky mimics Ireland. This is we got nicer weather. And Kentucky's we're 6 hours from 80% of the U.S. population, so we could be a manufacturing super center. But yet some of these old policies, and this is the way we're going to do it because it's the way we've always done it.
We want to run you for something,
huh?
Maybe we ought to sign you up to run for something. You sound like you could be.
Get the ponies loaded up and get them in the chutes.
Yeah, you can do something.
They just
hell, you'd have to be the governor before you could actually do anything. I don't know if the governor could do anything.
Well, so that's a weird thing here. The governor can, because the governor's allowed fake weed to exist.
I'm voting for you. Let's get some cops. Vote for Bill.
Bill, you do what Trump on everybody. You do what Trump is doing. Because basically a governor is the president of our country called Kentucky. Because each state is like a separate entity inside a bigger country. And that's the way the founders made us. Okay, so in a sense, you are whoever becomes a governor is as the same as a president of Kentucky. It's the same kind of power. They have their Congress. They have, So
back to that, it's really weird. We have a lot of work to do in Kentucky because once again, we as 3 Kentucky boys, we've got to acknowledge that it's goofy that they've had some of the harshest laws perpetuated on marijuana. We make the claims we make about being part of the Bible Belt, but yet we have a governor that's allowed and facilitates the manufacturing and the distribution of synthetic drugs, while at the same time we have a legislative body that doesn't do the things needed to advance what has really brought some health benefits to Kentucky. We started the hemp program in 2014. It was a pilot program to see the benefits of hemp, and they've seen the benefits. They know the benefits, but yet because of the perversions, even in the Republican Party, you know what I mean? There was a hemp company that filed bankruptcy in Kentucky, an outside company lost. Then the state was warned, this is a bad deal. And the Republican Party, it's the marketing company for them, loaned them money, and that's how this company was able to advertise at the Kentucky State Fair. So here's a company that's abusing Kentucky farmers, making a subpar product, being funded by basically the marketing agency of a political organization, or linked to a political organization, and we wonder why we keep having the same systemic problems. And so if we've got to get back to this, get out of this of attracting the wrong business, attracting the wrong people to Kentucky, and get focused on tracking the right businesses here, like Toyota. Some of these, we got UPS, Ford. We got a lot of big companies here that are great companies that Kentucky could focus on, but we don't. We focus on the novelty side of things, and just to get a quick buck and watch our people get taken advantage of. And that's not, if Kentucky's going to change itself, especially with these systemic problems, especially out in Eastern Kentucky where people need jobs, how are we going to attract companies when we've got, people just systemically abused of drugs?
Well, another thing, a lot of people can't work because a lot of people they used to like to smoke a little weed and this and that, didn't bother nobody. Then suddenly they put them up a test, and now you can't work because you can't pass the test. Right. And they're going to do the damn thing for them. I mean, they were fine,
Well, this is a real problem, right? And even as people show up at work, they can be on pharmaceuticals.
It kind of reminds me of Biden kicking all the guys out of the service because they wouldn't take the shot.
Right.
Best people, strongest, stoutest, most fit people in the world.
Right.
He kicks them out because they wouldn't take a vaccine shot. I think they got their money back, though. I think they all got their jobs and money back, or going to.
Yeah. But it's that manipulation right there, and the systemic abuse that certain people that they put there, and, we're going to mandate you do this.
They also did that to pilots. They did it to airline pilots, but they didn't get their jobs back yet. I don't know if Trump even knows about it, but they did that to pilots.
Oh, yeah, I hope they get their jobs back.
Yeah.
It's like, you got these people that would go drink them a fifth of Jack Daniels or have a terrible headache the next morning, and they're fine going to work. The guy smoked him half a joint or something, and he can't pass the drug test, so he gets fired because he's a drug abuser or something.
Right.
That just ass backwards to me.
No, and that's where these laws we need, got to be changed. And some of that's where a big problem. It gets back to our elected officials and some of the way that with these lobbyists, things that are kind of how they're sold here are very problematic. We need to get back boots on the ground, making decisions based off boots on the ground. And not getting information third party from a lobbyist kind of deal. It's just not good and working out for Kentucky. I don't think. You know what I mean?
I don't think it is either. I think taxes is a big problem in Kentucky too.